Hey everyone, ready for something kind of crazy? Today we're looking at video super resolution, but not just the simple stuff. Like we're talking about taking grainy old videos and making them look almost as good as new.
Like you film them on a high-end camera.
Exactly. We'll be diving into how AI is changing things, especially for those real-world videos, you know?
The ones we take on our phones?
Yeah, with all the little glitches and stuff.
All those imperfections.
Our main source today is this research paper.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
It's called STAR, Spatial-Temporal Augmentation with Text-to-Video Models for Real-World Video Super Resolution.
Quite a mouthful.
It is a bit much, right?
Yeah.
But luckily we have an expert here to help us unpack it all. I gotta say, I am super curious about this. Imagine watching like an old home video.
Oh, I love those.
And suddenly you can read the street signs in the background.
The detail that was just totally lost before.
That's the kind of power we're talking about here.
It really is like unlocking hidden details in those memories.
Okay, so before we get into the solution, let's break down the problem. Why is it so hard to upscale real-world videos without making them look fake?
Well, think about it this way. Traditional upscaling is basically just stretching the existing pixels.
Which can lead to that blurry look.
Yeah, almost like a painting.
And real-world videos have all sorts of things going on, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Noise compression, artifacts, camera shake.
You name it.
All those things make them unique, but also harder to upscale.
Exactly. It's like trying to make a small faded photo bigger.
You might lose the detail that makes it special.
Right. But this is where things get really cool. Researchers have started using AI, specifically diffusion models.
Oh yeah, I've heard about those.
They've revolutionized how we make images.
But wait, this paper mentions text-to-video models.
T2V for short.
So does that mean you could just describe like your dream vacation to this AI and it could actually make a video of it?
Pretty much some of these T2V models are mind-blowing. It's not just what things look like, but how they move.
Text.
Yeah, even how they interact.
So it's like the AI is reimagining the video with more information.
You gotcha.
Filling in the gaps with its knowledge.
Exactly. And that's what makes the STAR framework so clever. It combines these powerful T2V models with diffusion models.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little lost in the AI jargon here. What exactly makes STAR so special?
Well, there are two main innovations I find really fascinating. First, there's the Local Information Enhancement Module, or LIEM.
LIEM.
That sounds like a secret agent code name, right?
Right.
But what it does is actually pretty simple. You see, most T2V models use global attention.
So they look at the whole picture.
Exactly. But for restoring videos, you need to focus on the little details, the places where the noise and artifacts are most obvious.
Ah, I see.
LIEM basically zooms in and cleans those rough edges up.
It's like an artist coming in and just perfecting all the fine details.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, what about that second innovation?
That's called dynamic frequency loss, or DF loss. It helps the AI prioritize what to focus on.
So it's like ensuring that things look natural.
Exactly. It tackles the big picture first and then refines the tiny details.
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all fits together. But does STAR actually work? Like, what kind of results are we talking about?
That's the exciting part. It's not just theory.
Oh, good.
The research shows that STAR consistently beats existing methods, both in how clear and smooth the video looks.
Okay, how it actually looks to us.
Exactly. And get this, it's amazing at reconstructing text.
Oh, wow.
Even detailed textures like fur things other models struggle with.
So we're not talking about some blurry mess when we try to read text in an upscaled video.
Not at all. STAR handles it beautifully. Imagine watching an old home video and suddenly being able to clearly read the street signs in the background.
The details that were completely lost before.
That's the power of STAR.
That is pretty impressive. But the world of AI never sits still, right?
Never.
What's next for this technology?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Whoa.
The researchers experimented with even bigger, more powerful T2V models.
And don't leave me hanging.
They found that the bigger the model, the better the results. Higher fidelity, more realistic details, smoother motion. It seems like the future of video enhancement is going to be about scaling up these AI systems.
So it's like saying if a little AI is good, a lot of AI is even better. But does that mean there's no limit?
That's a great question, and one that leads us into some important ethical considerations. With these increasingly powerful tools, we need to think carefully about how they could be used.
Or misused.
Exactly.
Okay, now you've really got me thinking. But I guess we'll have to wait for part 2 to unravel that mystery. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So we've seen how STAR can unlock all this incredible detail in our videos. But as we keep pushing for bigger and better AI models, it does make you wonder if there's a limit.
Yeah, you're right. Like, is there a point where they get so big that they're just not practical anymore?
It's a real concern. Training these massive AI models takes tons of data and processing power.
Which can be a lot, right?
It's incredibly resource intensive, not to mention the potential impact on the environment with all that energy use.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Bigger models might give us better results, but at what cost?
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot between performance and practicality. But there's another layer to this, too. Something that goes beyond just the technical stuff.
Oh.
The question of responsible use.
Right, because just because we can do something with the AI doesn't always mean we should.
Think about it. AI is getting so good at manipulating video. How do we even know what's real anymore?
It's kind of unsettling, right? It's like that saying, seeing is believing. But what if we can't trust what we see?
That's the challenge we're facing.
I remember this one time I tried to upscale a video of my dog doing this hilarious trick, but it ended up looking so distorted it was like watching a canine Picasso painting.
That's a great example. And as AI-powered enhancement gets better, it's only going to get harder to tell real videos from fake ones.
So then what do we do?
That's why it's so important to develop these technologies carefully and thoughtfully.
It's almost like we need a digital detective or something, someone who can tell us if a video has been messed with.
You know, that's not as far-fetched as it sounds. There's a whole area of AI research focused on exactly that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's called video authentication.
Tell me more.
Basically, they're developing algorithms that can analyze videos for signs of tampering. They look at things like the lighting, shadows, reflections, even the way objects move.
To see if something's off.
Exactly. They can spot these tiny clues that we might miss.
So it's like a super-powered magnifying glass for video.
That's a great analogy. And as AI-generated video gets more sophisticated, these authentication tools are becoming even more crucial.
Sound like a constant back and forth.
It is. It's like a digital arms race.
But at least someone's working on it.
It's a battle to maintain trust in a world where video is so important.
This all ties back to what we were saying about using AI responsibly. It's like giving someone a really powerful tool. It can be used to build amazing things, but it can also be used for bad.
You're absolutely right. That's why it's so important to talk about the ethics of AI, especially as it becomes a bigger part of our lives.
So we've talked about the potential downsides of bigger AI models and the importance of being able to tell if a video is real. But what about you? What stood out to you the most about STAR?
What really fascinates me is how seamlessly it blends these different AI techniques, like diffusion models and text-to-video generation. It's not just about improving one aspect of the video. It's changing how we think about video enhancement altogether.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And it highlights something else that's really important. STAR isn't just about cramming in more pixels. It's about enhancing the quality in a way that feels natural. You know, respecting the original video while also bringing out its hidden beauty.
Right. It's not about making some hyper-realistic artificial version.
Exactly.
It's like restoring an old painting. You want to clean it up, but you don't want to lose the artist's original brushstrokes.
That's a perfect analogy. It's about finding that balance between preserving and enhancing.
Yeah.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, there's another area of AI research that I think you'll find absolutely mind-blowing.
Hold on, another cliffhanger. You're really good at this.
Let's just say that this research is exploring the very nature of reality itself. And it could revolutionize not just how we watch videos, but how we see the entire world around us.
Okay, now you've really got me hooked. I guess we'll have to wait for part 3 to uncover that mystery. Don't touch that dial, folks. I'll be right back.
All right, we're back, and I am so ready for this. You mentioned some new research that's like exploring the very nature of reality. I'm all ears. Tell me everything.
Remember how we talked about AI being used to spot those super convincing fake videos?
The deepfakes, yeah?
Right, those are getting incredibly realistic.
It's scary. Like, what can we even trust anymore?
Well, what if I told you that AI isn't just being used to detect fakes?
Uh-oh.
It's also being used to create entirely new realities.
You mean like virtual worlds that are almost indistinguishable from the real thing?
Seriously, it's like something straight out of the Matrix.
It kind of is.
Are we talking about those immersive video games?
That's a good example, but this goes even further. Researchers are using AI to create photorealistic environments.
So like?
Lifelike characters, objects, even weather patterns.
It's like building a virtual world from scratch.
Exactly.
Whoa, okay, that's on another level. I get upscaling existing videos, but creating whole new realities.
It's mind-blowing, isn't
It
it?
really is. So what's the point?
It might start with entertainment, you know?
Like games and stuff.
Yeah, but the potential goes way beyond that. Think about training simulations for pilots or surgeons,
Oh, wow.
or creating virtual models for architects and engineers.
And what about like video conferencing?
Imagine interacting with colleagues in a shared virtual space.
That feels like being in the same room.
Exactly.
Suddenly those boring Zoom meetings become way more interesting.
Right.
But hang on a sec. This raises some pretty big questions.
It does.
If we can create these hyper-realistic virtual worlds, what does that mean for our sense of reality?
It's a valid concern for sure.
Could it blur the lines between what's real and what's not?
As these technologies get more advanced, it's going to be harder to tell the difference.
It's exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time.
I agree.
Like we're on the edge of something huge,
Yeah.
but we don't know where it's going to lead.
That's the thing about innovation, right?
It pushes us into the unknown.
And it's up to us to figure out how to use these powerful tools responsibly.
For good and for it.
Let's just say we need to be careful.
You're right. Okay, well, let's circle back to STAR for a moment. What's the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
I think the key point is this. AI is fundamentally changing how we experience video,
In so many ways.
whether it's enhancing our memories, creating new worlds, or helping us spot fakes.
AI is transforming the visual landscape,
Absolutely.
and it's happening so fast, which is why it's so important to stay informed, you know,
Absolutely. We need to keep asking questions and having these conversations.
about the future of technology and where it's taking us.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure.
Well said. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into video super resolution.
It's been a fascinating journey.
We've gone from the technical details of STAR
Mm.
to the mind-blowing potential of AI-generated realities.
And everything in between.
To our listeners, we leave you with this final thought. As we move forward into this uncharted territory, it's up to all of us to shape the future of video and make sure these powerful tools are used for good.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring and keep those brain cells firing.